Welcome back. We are starting episode 2 of the Dissonance operation in Regiments. If you watched the last one, we had a great start to this operation. Seized most of the map in the first phase, and really have just 2 or 3 victory points left to capture in the rest of this phase. We also managed to do it with pretty minimal losses. If you look at the units we have so far, a few BRDMs lost, I think just 2 BTRs, another BTR here, and another BRM 1K. So we're mostly intact, pretty minimal losses. And with the points we captured, managed to generate 157 operational authority, so we're in good shape moving on to the next one. If we go to the operational log, situation report shows what we gained there. I'm still not certain exactly how the operational authority works in this game. I've tried looking it up, haven't been able to find much, but we did manage to get 7 extra from destruction. I'd still love to figure out exactly how that's calculated. For the other items in the operational log, saying we should expect more rebels to arrive in numbers, and then a cool narrative here about how the situation with the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan led to the situation in this scenario. So when we look at what we're doing for the next phase, I'm going to call in the Apparat Mechanized Task Force. And the reason for that is I want the BMP riflemen. BMP is heavier armored than the BTRs. BTRs have 2 armor, and the BMPs have 3. And these BMPs also have a 75mm gun. When we upgrade them later on, we get the BMP 1P, which I believe adds an ATGM, but I'm not certain. We can also add the Gvozdyka to our arsenal. So we're going to add that, and then, let's upgrade that. Get those BMP 1Ps. Yeah, and that adds a Concourse ATGM. And that lets our BMPs start engaging tanks from 2,800 meters out. So when we're facing NATO, NATO doesn't, we won't be in this scenario, but NATO doesn't even have ATGMs on their tanks at all. So that lets the Warsaw Pact forces engage them from further out. So we've got just 7 operational authority left, and I'm just going to reinforce these BTRs. There's a chance we'll burn through those pretty quick if we get into a rough spot. So thinking about what card we should play here, I think I'm going to risk it and go with Interdiction. We've got some extra platoons now, so hopefully we can manage with having 2 that we can't deploy, and we don't have as far to go in this operation. So hopefully we can make it with this one, and that way when we move on to the next stage, we'll be able to just kick right off with 2 positives with divisional artillery and blitz. So with that said, let's go to battle. Okay, so if you look at where we ended on the last phase here, we're in a good spot. We've got 2 victory points left to capture, Clearing and Naza, but where the enemy can enter the map are both on the other side. So Clearing should be pretty much taken care of. I'm going to have this tank and this BTR get ready over here. I'll smoke that off as soon as it's ready and move in. And then I'm going to have the scouts move into position to give me a look at what's coming on these other axes here from the entry points. And after we take the Clearing, we'll move on to Naza. And again, we'll be focused really on force preservation, keeping our guys intact, and making sure we're in the best operational authority situation we can be going into the next phase. So it looks like we didn't fully capture facility. I'm going to hold up my BTR there and just make sure we actually get that lockdown.
Zone captured.
I'm going to move my mortar in here just so it's close enough that I can support this push on Clearing. Loaded my BTR back up. I like to leave my transports unloaded, but when we're moving, especially if we're not in contact, it's worth loading them back up just to get there faster. Alright, we are in the forest, so there's a counterattack of 1 to 3 platoons coming at us. Shouldn't be an issue. We have artillery if we need it. and we're dug into defensive positions. Plus we have mortar backup, so I think we shouldn't have any issues there. Smoked it off just in case. Do like the close-up visuals here. It gives a pretty cool effect. Alright, so our T-72s are taking fire. I'm gonna get them out of there. They popped smoke in front, so they should be protected from fire. And we're also getting some help from these T-55s emplaced over to our right. So we have reports of another counterattack. But here we've got our 2 infantry platoons firing at them. And I think we'll be okay here. Both reports said a counterattack of 1 to 3 platoons, and we should be in good enough position to fight those off. Alright, now they're panicking. Suppression lowers their rate of fire, lowers their accuracy, and I'd assume panic is just more of the same. So now we've got clearing taken, and that leaves just NASA. So once we get this BMP up, wow, how did they hit my mortar? Interesting. So now I got this BMP up here, and we are going to get ready to take this last victory point. Okay, so they did sneak some T-72s around the back. Gonna have to take care of these. I think it's worth some arty shots. And we'll see how it looks when our T-72 gets closer.
Zone capture.
And they have some rocket artillery. So I'd like to take that out before they're able to do anything serious to us. Now our anti-tank range is only 800 meters with these guys, so once we get it within 800, then we can start. There we go. See, side shots, make quick work of that. Alright, so they are not fooling around with these counterattacks. And I'm going to drop heavy artillery right where I saw that come in. I'm going to get my T-72s to the front as quickly as possible. And I'm also bringing up some mortars. Now, when we look at what we've got here, it's kind of an open plain to cross to get to NASA. So I think I'm going to try to bring my BTR through these woods. And then I'm going to bring my main armored and mechanized push across the open field here. This BTR is a little beat up. Gonna rotate them out, get them off the field, get someone fresh in there. Okay. So now we don't really have any better options than going straight at them. I'm just gonna put smoke on the most likely way they'll be hitting me from. Alright, so they do have some anti-air here. That's going to be a challenge. Or some... wow. Okay, wow. They've got a lot of guys coming up. Okay, so I'm gonna throw what I'm able to get at this counterattack here on the right side. Just hit him with everything I've got. I'm in a little bit of trouble here. Not gonna lie. So I am gonna bring in my helicopters. Hopefully that, number one, they'll get there quickly. Hopefully they can help kind of slow this attack. I'd be really excited if my allies started to move up here. That would be a big help. And I want to make sure I keep my mortars out of the line of sight here. Alright, now I've got enough points to start calling my units back in that I had rotated out. Okay, so now we're starting to do some serious damage. Okay, so we took out their anti-tank. Starting to take on their BTRs as well. Ooh, another counterattack. Okay, let's get this BMP back in here. And we're at least doing damage to this BTR with reservists. Okay, helicopter's out of ammo. Almost out. Alright, get him out of there. These guys are stationary, so I'm going to hit them with artillery. We're in a bit of a pickle here. We got a Shilka on the left, which can tear through our infantry, no problem. And I was getting a little too excited about the counterattacks. Didn't put enough units in defense, and they are really coming at me. I wish I had enough time to get these guys in defensive positions and let them dig in. We'll see. So, we use the line of sight tool. And this line of sight tool is extremely useful. Really lets you pick out positions where your units will be able to do the most damage. Make sure you're keeping them where they can be useful. And got these deployment points rolling in, so I'm going to bring in a lot of infantry. Alright, so we've got their infantry panicking now. Their Shilka's pulling back. I'd like my tanks to start taking out this BMP unit. I'm going to hit them with artillery. And I'm going to get some recon up at the front again because I want to be able to take out that last point. I really want it. Alright, pulling my BTRs out. There we go. Heavy artillery's coming in. They're moving now. They're suppressed. And I'm going to back my tanks up into this tree line to get them in some cover. All the while they're still firing at that mechanized infantry unit. Got the Shilkas bailing out. And these guys should be done in just a second here. Point blank. Hopefully my tanks can hit them from this range. Nope. Miss. Oh, this unit is 3 Zentrum, who was huge for us last battle. They were the ones who had, I forget how many kills. Really saved the day for us. Alright, so they're firing some mortars at us from over here. and I'm gonna try to go right at him with my tanks. Got a few units coming up now. We've got a BTR, or 2 BTRs, got our BRDMs, and we got our BMPs sitting in this field here, ready to absorb any counterattacks. And I know last time we tried to push through, there were guys here, someone in the
5
city.
minutes remaining.
So I think we damaged them enough last time that hopefully it'll be a little easier this time. Yeah, I'm just letting these guys hunt now. I think this is rocket artillery. No, just regular self-propelled artillery. Just letting them go at it. Oh, now they're taking anti-tank fire. So we're going to back up into these trees, make sure we get our front facing where that fire is coming from. But we at least messed up the anti-tank fire. Okay, we're down to 4 minutes. Just keeping an eye on the clock, make sure I don't run out of time. I wish these units were faster. Okay. So 2 minutes in between. I'm going to drop artillery there. Hopefully we'll use this guy to get some eyes on what's going on. Got 2 units of mechanized infantry, tank, and got a recon up front. Plus I'll be able to call in artillery again in 45 seconds. There we go. Alright, we are going to smoke it off. To cover until we get a little closer. There we go, that artillery is doing some work. Gonna have my mortar keep firing at that unit. I don't know if this BTR is gonna get there in time. And I'm gonna have my recon unit just take on that mechanized infantry, keep them from side-shotting my guys. Let's see how this fight's going in here. Okay, I'm trying to keep my 2 tanks alive that I have. Now these BMPs have some decent guns on them. This is really close with the artillery. I don't love doing this, but I think it's really our best option here to make sure we can actually capture this village in time. We want to make sure we're causing damage and getting these guys out. So we got 1 unit to bail. And pretty soon this last one should bail. It's just 1 BMP left. Maybe 2 BMPs left? Yep, down to 1. No soldiers left. And with all the firepower we have coming in, I can't imagine they're going to last much longer. There we go. Alright, we got it.
1 minute remaining.
There we go. We captured it. That's the last one. Really came down to the wire. Didn't expect it to go this way, but it worked. And I don't think our losses were too bad. So I think it'll drop us out of this phase early since we captured them all. Yeah, so the losses were closer than last time. 37 to 66 KIA, 141 to 216 wounded, 15 to 34 vehicles lost. Last time we looked much better, had a much better kill to death ratio. Let's look at our favorite unit, 3 Zentrum. Again, some pretty solid kills with some Gvozdikas, and then 4 units of mechanized infantry. We only called in the Mi-24s once, but they did well. They're expensive, but they can get there fast. They can do a decent amount of damage in a very short time and then get out. So it's best to use them when there's when things start to get really dicey, but not to use them all the time. I don't always like to have them called in. So if we look forward to the next phase, we've got 192 operational authority, and restoring our losses doesn't look like it'll be too bad. Ballpark it at 40-ish points, and we could do some upgrades. Now, let's see, this one, upgrading this battle group doesn't look too appealing. It'll just get us some more BMP-1s and an artillery strike, but we already have heavy artillery. If we upgrade this one, we get our riflemen upgrade to assault engineers, and then we get artillery barrage if we go all the way up. For other battle groups to call in, it might be worth trying to get these old T-55s in. They're not very strong, but they're armor, so they'll stand up well to infantry, and they can still lay down some fire from range. The HQ group, they're interesting, because if we call them in, their upgrades, we get some T-72Ms with that second upgrade, and we get Su-17 napalms. And if you look at like what we did on that last one, that last city we were trying to capture with the infantry dug in, that would have been a great place to send in some napalm. So next time we'll make that decision, and we'll move on to the next phase with the Vogtai Chem VEB. We will see what that means. Move on to the next phase of the operation then. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked it, and I hope to see you again. Thanks.